What's going on YouTube? I have a 1999 Bayou 220 here, and I've had a few of these Bayous before, and I've ran into the clutch engagement being a little sloppy or have a slipping feel to it. This one was to the point where I needed to take it apart. I didn't want to pass it on to anybody with any issues, and today I want to explain to you the reasoning of why it actually slips. So I decided to buy a new clutch kit. It comes with your friction material, new steel disc, springs, and a gasket, $46 on eBay. If you have this thing apart, why would you not do that? Okay, this bike came from an older gentleman, stayed on his property, but it was used as kind of like a ranch hand bike, but he rode very, very slow. And what I believe happened is that he slipped the centrifugal clutch a lot. When I took this off, you can see there's still a tiny bit of grooving. It's more aesthetically now, if you actually feel it, it's pretty smooth besides a few deeper grooves. And the clutch pack right here, the centrifugal clutch, see there's a ton of material left, so it's still good. But these channels had almost completely interlocked with the grooves that were in the bell. So I took a Dremel, cleaned out the original channels, still tons of material there, so that's good. Also took a Dremel with a sanding drum and went round and around, put this in the vise, and really took my time to make it as smooth as possible, okay? That is why the clutch slips and then engagement is strange, or it comes in hard because it has to push the oil out, and when there's nowhere for the oil to go, it gets locked in the drum, especially with a thick oil like a Rotella or a heavyweight oil. It really struggles to get it out. Now the grooves pushes it out. Now onto this clutch. This is your secondary. As you can see here, there still is a gap for the oil to get out, and the rest of the clutch looks like this. I believe this clutch is completely fine. Again, having it apart, I'm going to put a new clutch. But if you were on a budget and just wanted to take it apart and buy a $6 gasket, I believe you could. I did notice that my factory disc is smooth and the aftermarket is dimpled. Now I have taken a lot of these bikes apart, not just this Kawasaki, but Hondas and Yamahas, and I've noticed that some do have dimpled plates from the factory. I'm not sure if maybe that's a newer design and they used smooth plates back then, but I think it's really just to help get oil in between the plates and then disperse the oil when you don't need it. New springs are nice, springs fatigue. Again, this clutch would lock up, but to get moving, even in first gear, you would really have to rev it out, and you knew that this clutch was just spinning in that oil and not engaging. So to go back, take your bell off, sand it down, and then create new grooves in your centrifugal clutch. Now, if there's no material left on here, then that's your problem. But to burn this off, that is like, it would be an insane amount of abuse on the bike. So I hope this video helps. It's a very, very straightforward project. You take off your foot peg and this side panel right here, and you have full access to the side cover of this engine. I'm going to get this installed and show you how it runs. Just a quick note on the install. You want to make sure you get all of that old gasket material off with a straight edge razor blade. It takes some time, but if you do it right, you'll have a nice OEM seal. Do it wrong, it will leak like an old junk bike. Also, these clutches, they're wet when they operate, so put them in wet. And same for your centrifugal clutch. It should definitely be pre-oiled before the first start and drive. That way when it engages, you're engaging wet clutches and not dry clutches. They're specifically meant to slip a little bit with lubrication, so just make sure you know that, and very straightforward install. So we'll get it on and then go for a test drive. Clutch cover is about to go back on. Everything's clean. Your gear shifter assembly right here is on like a cam bearing setup. And if you notice, it wants to fall loose. There's nothing holding this triangle retainer plate behind here. It can just pivot and fall, and then you won't be able to get your clutch cover all the way on, or you'll get it on, but it will be engaging your clutch. So be careful. That is your mechanism right here. It sits in the case like this. Obviously, when it pushes down, it's pushing that lever, which then pushes right here, whoops, on your clutch pack. And just want to make sure you get that straight. Also, there is a filter right there. You want to pull that out and clean it. So this engine uses one oil for your trans and engine. That is your filter in between them. So just pull it out, make sure there's no debris, and you'll be good to go. So we'll get the new gasket on, cover on, go for a ride. All right, so now it's fully back together. Fire it up, go for a little quick ride. First gear, immediate engagement. Start to the grass, a little more resistance. Immediate. Second gear. Second gear going slow. Smooth, very smooth. There you go. That is how you fix your slipping clutch on a Bayou 220. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, really helps out. And I'll see y'all next time.